finally, let's have a look at cloth simulations. So I'm just gonna click away the splash screen and let's make a character to collide with our cloth. So I'm just gonna scale this cube on the y-axis by pressing S once and Y once. Scale there, left click, and go into edit mode and choose face select mode. Choose the topmost face and hit E to extrude. However, right click when you're in this position to snap back to the original position where it started, and scale on the y-axis. So we're gonna make the neck and the head. So extrude from here. And there we got a simple character with shoulders. So I'm just now gonna go back to object mode and add a plane. So Shift A, mesh plane. Scale that up and move it above the character. So G and Z. And go into edit mode again. And let's subdivide this. So hit F3 and type in subdivide. You can choose subdivide from here, and now over here on the left lower corner you got subdivide menu. Make it make the number of cuts like 20. Hit enter, and then we should see where the head will be for the poncho. So go to view, viewpoint, and top. Press Z to go into wireframe mode and try to find, okay, so the character's head is right about there. So choose the faces that are above the head and press X to delete those faces. Now go back into object mode and give this a physics property cloth. Then give the character physics property collision and play the animation. So when we switch back to solid view, we should see that the poncho is falling through the character. The head goes through the hole and the rest of the poncho hits the shoulders, so it lands nicely on the character. It's good to keep in mind that when making clothing for your characters, this could be a rigged character and the cloth simulation would follow. But when making those, you should always remember to leave a gap, like in any other physics simulations. It's always good to leave a gap between the active objects so that nothing strange happens. Next, let's make a flag. So Shift A, mesh plane, scale it up, scale it on the y-axis, hit R, Y90 to rotate it on the y-axis again. Move it on the y-axis like so. Press tab to go into edit mode. Press F3, choose subdivide. Number of cuts, make it 30. Choose a vertex here, click on it, press C to go into circle select mode and choose these vertices and go over here to this green triangle and make a vertex group and click on assign to assign the vertices to this group. Alright, press tab to go back into object mode and go to the physics properties and add cloth to the object. And go down here, go to shape and choose pin group, select group, and now your cloth is pinned from these vertices. So now we could add wind to the scene. Press Shift A, choose force field and choose wind. So the wind is kind of small. You could scale it up by pressing S. Rotate it on the x-axis. Let's make it 180. And over here, set the strength to be something like 100. So now the wind is affecting the flag. You could also add turbulence. Shift A, force field, turbulence. Scale it up. Put it somewhere here and change the strength to 100. That's going to add randomness to the shape of the flag. You could get rid of the sharp edges by going to Object and Shade Smooth. You could play around also with the settings of the cloth simulation. For example, if you turn down all the stiffness values, the cloth is gonna start stretching out. If I turn up the amount of frames here for 200, then you can see the cloth keeps stretching and stretching. And if I turn down these values, it should get even crazier for the damping. So you could get really experimental with this, with these values, and get some crazy results.